You guys ready for a story? That's how every episode starts.
Always.
So, I don't know if you guys know this.
Okay.
I'm a clean comic.
Could have fooled me.
Can you define clean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to give back to the community.
Yes.
The comedy community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And one of the best ways that you can give back to the community is by giving stage time.
Okay.
And the way you can get...
That's the currency.
That's the
comedian's currency.
Stage time is currency.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could do that in one of two ways. You can have a show and invite comics to be part of your show.
Right.
They get stage time. Or you do an open mic. And so that means you're going to connect with the business and do a weekly or a monthly open mic. And you're kind of setting it up so people just have to show up and do the open mic.
Yeah.
And they get stage time.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how you do it. So I'm like, I can do a monthly open mic.
Yeah.
And so I call my friends, or I connect to my friends at Welltown Brewing in Tulsa, which is a really cool spot. And I'm like, what do you think? And they're like, we love it. And so I'm like, all right, everybody, we're doing a once a month clean open mic.
Nice.
That's really important because it's got my name on it.
Yeah.
And so if anybody comes to it, like from my fan base, like they're going to be expecting clean.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do.
Like
And-
I can bring my kids.
Like you can bring your kids,
You can
or
bring your
maybe
kids
teenagers.
to the brewery.
Well, they have food. It's a
Oh,
restaurant.
okay.
They call it's a brewery, but you don't have to be 21 to go.
So my
great
kids
food,
can't come.
kids could come. So I promote it, and I'm there. We're set up, and we don't get we get 3 comics that sign up, and that's fine.
Yeah.
First time, no big deal.
Yeah.
And so I just remind them, hey, it's a clean mic, and so keep it clean.
Yeah.
And I say very specifically, no F-bombs,
Yeah.
no sexual innuendos.
Yeah.
That's pretty common that people say that. And that's not even that's not as clean as me. Like that's leaving some other cuss words on the table,
I see.
but I'm just like, let's focus on those 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
And so I go up, I do a set. It's terrible. The jokes are not funny. It's fine. It's an open mic.
Wait, you do a set?
I mean, I do it. I'm hosting it, so I do 5 minutes.
I see. And you just...
I try some new jokes. None of them hit. and
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. So just really help set everybody else up for success.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Because you couldn't find a magician or a
Right.
comedian or a
Singer.
singer.
Or a juggler or someone on a unicycle. Yeah. So then the next comic gets up and it's fine. He does fine. It's great. The third comic gets up and he goes, it's his second time on stage, and he goes, we're all 21 here, right?
Uh-oh.
We can say the F word. And then he just starts saying it a ton.
Yeah.
Like his joke is just F word, F word, F word, F word, F word. So much. So much. So much. It's not funny for one. So much he's saying it. And then he starts telling a bunch of jokes about sex.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so uncomfortable in the room. And so he finishes, and like it was kind of hard to get him off stage. And I get him off stage. I get up there. I'm just like, okay. Well, that's the whole mic. So see you guys next time. And then it's over.
So it's supposed to be a clean show.
It's supposed to be a clean
People,
open mic.
The audience wasn't necessarily there for a clean show then because nobody booed him off the stage.
They didn't move him off the stage, but there were people that we know that were expecting it to be clean, who were incredibly uncomfortable. And I walked away saying to myself, oh, I guess I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, so that was it.
So that was the last time we did that open mic. It is over. No more.
Really?
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I can't do it. So I changed it to do a clean comedy showcase.
A showcase.
Where I pick the comedians.
Gotcha.
And advertise online. People can come. It's going to be clean. I've been very clear. Like all the performers are clean, or either I know them really well, and I've given them very strict limitations on what the...
Yeah.
What
Did they sign a contract?
They did not.
Because it seems like you gave clear instructions the last time.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but
I gotta watch this guy.
gotta watch you. Yeah, but did invite you to the
Get
show.
that in writing, or Chris. He
I would tell you what. I like
Walk all
to
over
explore the space. If you know what I mean.
That's just true of your life.
That's just how I am.
Yeah. So today we're talking about, so that's that story. Yeah. So today we're talking about what it looks like to be a clean comic in a world of blue comics. That's what it's going
Hey, look at you using industry terms.
That doesn't translate the same way as a blue collar worker.
That's true.
A blue comic, a hardworking comic. We don't like those.
Maybe that's what they consider themselves or something.
No, I read about this and I can't remember.
Oh,
I feel like I read about why it's
maybe
called
we'll Google it so we can see if where the term comes from. But it means a comic who's not, who's not clean.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about what it looks like how do you, as a clean comic, how do you jump on a show that you want your fans to come to, but the other comics are not clean, and then how do you have shows yourself and include other comics? And then we got a comment of the week. Ooh. That's pretty nasty. Speaking of blue, not that guy. Yeah. Anyway, so I always say, "Here we go." So you want to?
All right, guys. Man, this is what I'm excited about. Here we go.
Gare, look up what does blue comic mean? Where does it come from? All right. So while Gary's looking that up, you're on your phone too.
I bet I could do it faster than Gary.
I bet you can't, is what I'm going to guess.
Here's what blue comedy is defined right here: is typically sexual in nature and or using profane language, sometimes using gender or race-based humor.
But no, I know what it is. I want to know where it came.
Well, maybe our audience doesn't know what that is.
That's
Adam?
a good. Okay, sorry. I apologize.
Why don't you just? Yes. We're all here to learn.
Hey, Chris, there's a thing called character comedy.
There is.
It's derived from a persona invented by the performer, often stereotypical. Sounds familiar?
I guess
sometimes
I'm a character comic.
Sometimes cringy.
I'm seeing if there's a clean comedy in this.
It's not a thing. Clean isn't a thing.
Nope. While I was looking that up, to get everybody up to speed, big phrase in the comedy world is clean is green.
Yes.
You've heard this?
I have heard this before. I've experienced it.
You have experienced it. Yeah. Yeah. Clean is green. It means you can, there's money to be made that is not available to blue comics because there are a lot of settings where you need to be clean to be able to perform. Corporate events, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably going to be a lot easier to get booked on those. Obviously, a church.
Yeah.
You're not going to get booked at a church if you're blue.
Right.
I mean, maybe some church. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So, but you can also get booked at a club if you're clean too. So it's like you can still get booked at a club if you're clean.
Why is it that the clubs pay so little comparatively to churches or corporate events or things like that?
There's just not the money there.
Yeah.
So the comedy club, obviously for profit.
Yeah.
They got a lot of overhead.
Yeah.
They're making their money off of alcohol and food.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's just like there would be comics that say there's more money out there than like it's a little greedy, and that's true of most.
You were saying like the clubs could pay better, but they choose not to.
Yeah, they probably could, but regardless, they are a for-profit company, and so they're trying to make money, and that's a big overhead.
Yeah,
they're going to pay, obviously several thousand. How do I say it? Thousands of dollars a month just in the performers.
Yeah,
and that doesn't include the staff or the lights or the
the building, all this
the building,
stuff.
that whole thing. And so, Are you still looking, Gare?
Yeah, I've not found a
just type in
story. I found one. It's like it's boring.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
don't tell us anything boring.
Don't bore us,
please. Don't bore us. Yeah. So a church.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, a church is going to have they're going to put on a volunteer banquet.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, this is important. This is an important event to tell our volunteers, thank you for all the work that you've done this year. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a $10,000 budget. Yeah. That's going to be for food and for giveaways and for the entertainment.
Yeah.
And so like a $2,000 line item for the entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
value there.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. I found one one explanation here.
We are defining where blue comedy, that term came from.
Yeah, we all know what it is.
We are.
If we have to belabor that point again, we know.
So the term comes from the music hall comedian Max Miller, who kept all his adult jokes in a blue-colored notebook.
Do we think that's true?
I need to find out how old is Max Miller. He's got to be like 400 years old.
I'm going to guess he's dead.
If it's
Is what I would think.
Stand-up comedy is a relatively new art.
Yeah,
form.
it is a relatively new art. Yeah, guaranteed. If there was a comic who's been doing this longer than us, they would maybe look down on us for not knowing this information.
Maybe so.
I would assume.
There are comics all over the country right now rolling their eyes listening to this.
Yeah.
Going,
Comics that have been doing it for
idiots.
20 years are listening to our podcast.
Yes, they want to learn too.
How to get started in the business.
They want to grow.
What does it look like to be a comic in the South? Yeah. All right. Is that it, Gare?
For now, I'm still searching.
All right.
But,
Gary's going to stay on it.
He's going to stay on it. Yeah. So that's why, yes. So that is why that is an explanation of clean being green.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little niche
There's
thing.
budgets there.
There's budgets.
There's budgets in place.
And it is like, there aren't that many clean comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are even less like comics that could do a church. I mean, a lot of clean comics could do a church, but like, kind of want to know something about church.
Yeah, right.
But like, so the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which is like Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
That's not blue comedy.
I
That's
don't
blue
think-
collar comedy.
I think their play on words there was for more of the blue collar than blue comedy.
Yeah.
We sound like we don't know anything about the industry we're in right now. Is that? I don't know. Who is the Jeff Foxworthy? Is he a big deal?
No,
Okay, Gary's still working on it. Just
still
staring at him.
digging it up.
Yeah. So, okay. So, wanted to talk about what it looks like to be a clean comic and kind of get booked on a show. So here's what happens in Tulsa, much like other cities. There are going to be comics that become producers, and they're connecting with a bar and saying, "We want to put on a comedy night. We're going to bring people. You let us have the stage. They'll get paid money, and the comics will get paid a little bit. And people will come in and they'll buy a ticket, they'll drink, that sort of thing." So I get asked, "Adam, you want to come be on this show?" And of course, yeah. And they're my friends, and I want to do the show with them, and that's great. I found out pretty early on, little harder to promote these. It's not that I can't promote them at all. I can, but I have to be very specific because, this is kind of what happened. When I used to work at the church, I was doing a show at a pizzeria. Doesn't that sound cool?
That sounds amazing.
It was a great show, actually. And this lady...
I'm sorry. I can't let that slide.
What?
A comedy show at a pizzeria? How does that even work?
Dude, anytime pizza's involved, great things happen.
That's true.
I mean, I love a good pie, but how does that even make sense?
It was a brewery that specialized in brick oven pizza. I don't understand.
Okay, well-
How is this confusing?
I'm just thinking like a tiny little pizza place.
What do you
and
mean?
you're standing
tiny-
in the corner.
Well, for one, yeah. I mean, what? I don't understand what you're asking me right now.
I think I have a better understanding now because you're saying it's like a big. When I think of a pizzeria and whatever,
Or any restaurant.
yeah, it's like saying that I did this amazing show at Chili's. It was so cool.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
So good,
Dude. We should put on a show at a Chili's.
Chicken crispers
Oh,
across the board.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Southwest egg rolls.
Yeah. In there, honey chicken crispers. Was it that one?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why you're confused. You ever been to a restaurant and there was a musician playing? Yeah, it sucks, but it was happening.
I guess that's where you said it was an awesome show.
So, yeah. So it was this little brewery that had a brick oven pizza place up in Owasso, which is a town near Tulsa. And tickets were expensive. They were $20. Yeah. So I did a show at Emerson Nice Brewery is what it was called.
Okay.
And it was $20 to go upstairs to the comedy show. And you order pizza.
See, now there you go. Upstairs. This is now it makes perfect sense.
No, that I would prefer to ridicule you.
Why didn't you say I did a show at a pizzeria that had an upstairs theater in it?
No, it wasn't a theater. It was. What are you talking about? No, it was just an up. It was a.
Did it have a stage?
No.
Okay, so upstairs was just like a loft.
Upstairs, it was like, oh my gosh, this is so boring to talk about. It was upstairs. There were other tables where people could order.
Am I boring you?
No, and a bar
I'm
up there.
Sorry.
Oh my word.
Actually, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Am I boring you?
Okay, so it was a good show because people paid attention.
Okay.
Okay.
No, let's move on.
Okay.
Why are we keep belaboring the point about the pizzeria?
Anyway, this lady I work with named Teresa, very nice.
Yeah.
You know her. Gary knows her. She was like, "Hey, I'm coming to your show. My friend is coming to it." And I was just like,
right.
This is going to be a pretty dirty show.
Right.
Not this guy.
Not this guy, but
everybody else.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there it was.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Sure.
But I can't. So anyway, that is something that I realized I was getting into pretty quickly because I'm not just looking, like I do want to perform with my friends and perform on lots of shows, but I'm not just looking for the stage time. I want to add value. Right. I want people to come to the show too. Yeah. So whenever I send out an email, like with all my dates on it, I put little asterisks to say like, not a clean show. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's something that I realized that
Do you find it hard though, even just like the dynamic of the other performers taking it in a blue style? Does it feel then like it's harder for you to perform well because it's like a different dynamic?
I did do a show at a bar in Oklahoma City last month, and it was so blue that I wasn't funny at all to the audience.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious that my best stuff wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
It just didn't.
Well, I would imagine that like you get exposed to a certain like level of edge or a certain level of like shock value that you become a little bit more desensitized to.
Yeah.
Maybe what you're doing.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be hard to kind of get on the same wavelength as everybody else.
Yeah. And, at that point, right now, I'm looking for just about any stage time. I'm working on my next hour. I want to be a better comic. I'm in a spot where I could use the reps. I mean, that's forever, but definitely at the beginning. And there are very few shows that I turn down, unless monetarily it's just gonna like put me in a gaping hole or something. Like if you're like, come to Seattle, it's $50. I'm like, well, I'm not up there right now.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like I might be at a spot where I might not do that show again, just because I don't know. I kind of feel like it'd be more like me saying to the promoter, I don't think I'm a good fit for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would kind of just be using you for more stage time.
Sure.
Which, if you don't know, I don't even know if you know this. Real comics, I am a real comic, but like a comic in New York, they're getting on stage 10 times a week. Like if they're going for it. So that's a minimum of 60 minutes a week. If they're doing a 10-minute set, hopefully it's more. And so I obviously struggle with getting that many minutes every week.
Right.
But I am trying very hard. So if somebody offers me a show, I really want to do it. But I am at a place where like I'm having to kind of evaluate that right now. So anyway, so that's something that I'm dealing with on the side of being invited to do a show and then just having to up my communication. Like I'll promote all the shows. I always put them on my Instagram. I always put them on all the socials. And then I just post like, not a clean show. And then let you decide.
Yeah.
If you want to come to it. And I've had people, I've come, when I'm at the Looney Bin on a show that's I kind of like maybe not clean. Like our friend Marty came to a show the other day. Shout out Marty and Chrissy. And I was just like, I kind of know them. I'm just like, you know what you're getting yourself into. And it wasn't that dirty of a show.
Yeah.
But like if my mom came, I'd just be like, Mom, you should walk out the door.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to do this.
You're not going to enjoy this.
Right. You're not going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Then there's the other side of things where I'm putting on shows and I want to give stage time to other people. And if I'm promoting something it means that I'm saying to like my fan base, this is an Adam Bush approved show.
Right. Yeah.
You bring your kid.
Yeah.
'Cause that's really what I want out of life.
Yeah.
I want people bringing their kids, not young kids. Don't bring your young
I
kids.
was gonna say that's interesting.
Yeah. It does sound kind of weird me saying bring your kids. I want parents and kids to enjoy my show, but like
Older.
like 13 and up.
Yeah.
High
Gotcha.
school.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want you to be a distraction.
Right.
Yeah. So, I'm putting on this showcase, and so I reach out to a few comics, and I'm like, I'd love for you to be on the show, but it's got to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty crazy. Like, how many minutes clean do you have? And so like, I got 5.
Yeah.
Great. I'll put you on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got 10? I've had people be like, oh, I don't got 10. I don't have 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what do you got? I got 6. All right, great. I'll put you on. So it's kind of, and you have to, I'm finding that I'm having to be really clear because there's a clean mic in town where you don't say the F word and you don't say sexual innuendos, but you can say any other cuss word. You can allude to things that's not a part of my set.
Yeah.
Not part of my brand, and honestly not a part of just my personal life. But that's not the kind of clean I'm talking about. The kind of clean I've learned, it's called dry bar clean, which is the expectation from dry bar comedy on this is how clean your set has to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they like have a whole video, like you can't cuss at all, no sexual innuendos. When I filmed my dry bar, there was a guy who said horny, and they were like, you can't say that. So we had to change it. It's a big deal to change.
Did they like
the word.
stop him mid-set and just a big buzzer?
Yeah.
Oh crap.
No.
Oh, I said crap. Nah, crap. Oh.
Yeah. I wonder if I think you could say crap.
You say crap?
I think you could. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, something I didn't expect getting in to comedy.
Yeah. What didn't you expect?
I didn't expect, like, I don't know why. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, but I didn't expect that, like, this show is going to be harder to promote.
I see. Yeah.
Because I am on with other, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's the.
Not as hard when you go out of town. When I go out of town, I mean, I promote it, but like, I don't have a fan base. I don't have a fan base.
Right. Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of people. Like, you'd have to, if you were on a showcase, like what I do, like last time I went to Flappers in Burbank, like if you're like someone, like, I meant to tell you, I did this show in Burbank. I got on, it was called Famous Fridays. And it's a showcase of like 7 comics. And the idea is that like some of them are famous. And so one of the comics was the dude from Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh, yeah.
I told you about that.
You told me about that, yeah.
The comic I went after, I didn't know him, but the other day he popped up on my Instagram and he's got like 200,000 followers.
Oh, cool.
And I was just like, oh, that's why that guy was so good.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about you because it's kind of the same sort of.
Yeah. Well, even going back to what you were talking about, how most comics or maybe not most, but like the professional comics, the ones that are really taking this thing seriously as an art form, are doing 10 performances a week.
Isn't that crazy?
And it's like, that's amazing. And that's where I would be like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to do 10 performances a week
to get better
and continue to, churn out social media stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is, like we've talked about, like the social media guys have a difficult time kind of showing up live and then being able to deliver on the level that somebody who's logging that kind of stage time, would have.
Right. Yeah. When the comedian Graham K, who's very funny, not clean, but very funny, came through Tulsa, one of the things he said to me was, Adam, the one benefit you have is you can get up on stage for longer because just in this part of the country, it's like the fact that somebody would ask me to headline for like 45 minutes, that's kind of crazy.
Right.
Because you just don't.
If you're in New York, who's going to ask you to do that?
No, yeah.
Right.
They're going to ask Dave Attell,
right,
who has 45 minutes, or Birbiglia.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. And here the bar is lower.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And so, and there's just less comics. I mean, even looking at, you can tell a lot about the comedy scene of a community by how many open mics they have. We have about 10. Go to Dallas, you're looking at like around 40, maybe. I mean, if you go up to New York, you're looking at like 100 or more. So that, or LA or something like that. Go down to Austin where Joe Rogan just opened a club. I mean, it's like even more.
Yeah.
And so like the amount of mics is kind of comparable to how many comics there are. And we probably only have about 100 comics. And that's out of 1 million people like in the surrounding area.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can make up for it. The fact that like we're doing a show this week and you're doing, what are you doing? 15 minutes?
10 or 15.
10 or 15. I mean, that's still a lot,
Yeah.
like considering that you don't go up on stage.
Yeah.
Or I just say like you just did that corporate thing. What's one of the longest ones you've done?
The longest I've done was 30.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, you don't realize like early on people will ask you how many minutes do you have, and you don't really realize what that means.
Yeah.
Until I don't know, time you keep doing it and you realize, oh, I don't. You're like, I get, there's new guys and bless your heart, you are doing a great job. But they'll be like, yeah, I got 15 minutes. And I'm like, I know what it feels like to say you have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've tried to fill 15 minutes early on in like a real pro environment and been like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really understand what it really means to have minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, the idea is that you would get a laugh every 10 to 15 seconds on average.
Yeah.
So that means 4 laughs a minute.
Yeah.
And if you can get more, that's better. 4 laughs a minute times 5 minutes, 20 laughs. Are you getting 20 laughs?
Yeah.
That's a lot of laughs. That's a lot of laughs and a lot of tight jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard, what's his first name?
Brian Regan.
Talking about how, he was just it was kind of a quote, just like the punchlines are easy, where he was like, what he works the most on is funny, like setups. And that's something that I've as I've kind of like examined my jokes of just like, oh man, I have a lot of like boring setups and it's just like, how can I infuse more humor into just the setup itself? Because I feel like sometimes I get into that rhythm where it's like setup, punchline. Oh, that's pretty, it was okay. But like that punch isn't like lasting through the next long setup to the next. And then if that joke doesn't hit very well, then you've got 2 long setups in a row. It's just like, man, how do you just get rid of all of that?
Neighbor Gotzi says, don't leave too much space between the laughs.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I find like I start chasing the laugh, and then it feels like you can't catch your breath, or you're trying to rush, and then you stop performing but as well as you. Yeah, it just goes south in a hurry if you're. So that's like the part of my stand-up career that I am excited about, like getting better at, is just like compressing everything into like tighter, better, more well-written jokes. That are with more punchlines.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing? And I think Clean has really, and also your social media following, but being clean has afforded you the opportunity for people to book you for real money.
Yeah.
In spite of the fact that you are continuing to grow.
Sure.
I mean, every comic's growing, but you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And I would say to kind of round it all out, that is one of the beauties of being a clean comic.
Yeah.
Is that because there are so few of us that when someone's looking for a clean comic, they'll book you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Gare, final words, final thoughts.
Pass.
Oh, he fell asleep. We bored him.
All right. Well, hey, maybe we won't bore you with this because it's time to wrap it up with comment of the week. Quack, quack, quack. Quack, quack, quack. All right. I got the comment of the week right here.
Let's hear it.
It's perfect for us talking about clean comedy. All right. I got 2. I get 2 for you.
All right. Let's hear it.
All right. I got this one on my YouTube, one of the videos I posted at Hey Adam Bush on YouTube. Guy named Neil Brucker.
Neil Brucker. Thanks for commenting, Neil.
He said, Jim Gaffigan has made millions doing mostly clean stuff. Period.
Okay. True.
Just factual comment
That's
from
facts
Neil.
right there.
Yeah.
Neil just
He
spitting
threw
truth.
it down.
Yeah. So,
What was the comment on? What
I can tell you. Let's see here. It might have been.
it sounds like you were making fun of Jim Gaffigan, and that guy's like,
He's defending Jim Gaffigan.
It's what it sounds like, but it definitely wasn't.
Remember, you got that whole 8-minute block in your set where you're just tearing apart Jim Gaffigan.
I'm like, Jim Gaffigan, never take me on the road. Let's see
you
here.
could just take all of Jim Gaffigan's self-deprivating comments and have an 8-minute set, probably.
Yeah, then you just use them. You just take them.
All right, let's see. He commented. It was a video about me saying, "How do I get booked on stand-up gigs and book my own shows?" And I don't know. It's a video from the podcast.
Did Neil's comment have quotations around it? Was he quoting you? Did you say that in your video?
No,
Okay.
what? No, what are you saying?
I said, did Neil's comment have quotations around it?
Oh, like
he
I
was
said
quoting
it.
you,
Oh,
like you said
no.
that in there.
No, it's a video. It's from the podcast where I talk about how I connected with the Clean Comedy Collective in Nashville, which shout out to those guys because they posted some of our videos and they were just like, hey,
Clean.
they shouted us
sounds
out. We
like
shout them out.
Shout
The
him back.
comment was just an encouraging comment saying, hey,
Keep your chin up.
this up.
Yeah.
You know what, Neil? I'm going to
You
take
might
it as
be
that.
making millions.
Why not?
I didn't know how to take it before, but now I take it as encouragement.
Encouragement.
Yeah.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Neil. All right. And then the last one, somebody commented, I posted this joke about Finding Nemo. You've probably seen that joke before because you were at the show when I did it.
Yeah.
It's just like, but this person who goes by the handle Nothing to See Here.
Okay.
Yeah. Not as transparent as old Neil.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm saying with the Nothing to See Here.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Said,
Or you could say they're being very transparent. Hey-o.
wait. Oh, okay.
Nothing to see here.
That's pretty good. Sorry, I didn't catch it. I apologize. So it was about my Finding Nemo joke, and they said, it's almost a joke, but it isn't really.
Mm-hmm.
There's a grain of a joke there, but it's an incomplete joke told well.
Okay, so that's like
Not many
compliment
people.
sandwich.
So maybe
Oh.
you found your niche.
It's more of an open face sandwich.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's an open face sandwich.
What were you saying, Gare?
Well, I think you can focus on telling incomplete jokes well now.
Yeah.
You kind of put yourself in that
That's kinda
box,
your thing.
running that lane
Yeah.
of being almost funny.
My lane is that
I like to.
I tell jokes that aren't quite there,
No, they're not.
but I do it well.
You tell the joke well.
You delivered
like
in
a-
confidence.
A half-made joke.
Yeah. So
Oh, not fully baked,
not fully baked joke,
but the recipe's good.
that is such a Pastor
So,
Bobby thing.
do you do research on these people? Like,
The
that sounds
extent-
like a critic.
The extent of the research is I go to their YouTube and I'm like, no videos, 2 subscribers. I don't know what to do. And I never know about the people because their picture, it's like a picture of like Pikachu. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
This-
I don't know anything about you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
nothing to see here.
Indeed.
And yes.
All right.
Okay, should I do one?
Yeah, you got one?
I don't.
Well, then we don't need to do
Let me
one.
look real quick.
All right. Chris is going to look.
Adam, throw him a comment.
He
can.
Chris just got, he
there's
just showed
so
up
many
to the podcast.
positive comments.
Oh,
it's
my
so hard to find
word.
negative ones.
Yeah. What did Taika Waititi say about me again?
You don't have to always do negative.
Yeah, maybe I
No,
could
let's
do
do
it.
a positive
Let's do a
one.
positive one.
Actually, I'll do one for you. It's about you.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody commented. We posted the podcast, Creating Steven Stevens,
Okay.
where you talk about how you create your characters. And this person said about you, Your talent is immense. Thanks for making me laugh emoji.
Oh,
Blue heart.
oh, that's very sweet.
Thanks a lot, Singer 2767.
Senior 27?
Singer.
Oh, singer. I thought you said senior. I was like, that's
I
not
would.
right.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Singer 27?
67.
Singer 67. Thank you very
No,
much.
Singer 2767. How hard is this?
Wow.
Singer
I know, that's a lot of numbers.
2767.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very
Immense
kind.
gratitude from Chris.
That's very kind.
I mean,
Very kind
honestly,
words.
I'm glad you said that, Garrett. It can be a positive comment because it is really nice when people leave a positive
It's
comment.
wonderful. It is
Yeah.
very nice. I have gotten some amazing comments of just people saying that my comedy has helped them through difficult times and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, tear.
Yeah, is a tear.
Especially in a medium that's like, I don't ever hear anybody laugh. Like, you don't know what. So the comments are really, really meaningful. And
Yeah.
so I'm thankful that you took the time to let me know. That was very kind.
That's very kind. Yeah. Speaking of taking the time, thanks for taking the time to check out the podcast, whether you're listening or watching. It goes back and forth every week, whether more people watch it or more people stream it, but it's going well.
It's great.
As Dustin Nickerson says about his podcast, our podcast is also the little podcast that could. That's what he says about his podcast.
Yeah.
And then I stole it.
And that's, hey, we just started this thing.
Yeah, we just started it. And it's, here we go.
See what happens.
I mean,
That's
were
right.
there people against the podcast, or
There was a lot of we had to fight a lot of battles.
A lot
a
of
lot
uphill
of people
battles.
said we couldn't do this.
Yeah, Satan did not want us.
They said we'd never get past 20.
That's what Pastor Bobby would say. The enemy.
But we've been having to fight tooth and nail just to get something on the screen, and yet here we are. Amen. Look at us go. Just a shooting star. Hoping we don't flashing, or what is it?
Flash and burn.
Crash and burn. Amen. But here we are, standing strong.
Hey, you want to give us out like a follow us online podcast out?
You know what would really help us? A lot of people reach out and say, how can we serve? And you could help us by just liking and subscribing and sharing, leaving a comment, a nice word, a word in season. We'd appreciate that. And so, yes, we appreciate your love and support. And so you could also send donations, would help as well. It ain't cheap putting this all together. Sorry.
I don't know where they're going to send the donations, but at Hey Adam.
It seemed like
to
Pastor Bobby should be asking for donations.
Yeah, he doesn't ask for a lot of donations.
He doesn't. That's
Yeah,
not
I
really.
guess that would be a little
I'm not really
confusing.
gone there, I guess.
Yeah. Is it hashtag Chris Munch Comedy?
No.
Hashtag at Hey Adam Bush. Yeah, and hey, if you want to follow me or Chris at Hey Adam Bush on the socials, at Chris Munch Comedy on the socials.
On the
You
socials.
can find out about our shows and buy a cameo from this guy.
Oh,
Send Pastor Bobby to someone special.
Yeah, or Steven Stevens.
Or okay.
Or actually, I've done a couple Chads.
Have you?
Yeah, I had a lady who was a big MLM lady. I guess.
Hello.
And so she bought one, and she was like, "I love my industry, but I also love when people make fun of the
I feel the same way.
stereotypes." And so I mean, it's like Pastor Bobby. I feel like it's kind of that whole same vibe in
Yeah.
the sense of like, I love the church, but
Yeah.
obviously there's things that.
But this will probably be out. This podcast will be out before Mother's Day.
Mother's
I can
Day.
think of nothing better.
Oh man, yeah. Mother's Day is a great opportunity to send a little love from Steven.
Yeah.
He would love to make your Mother's Day special.
Can you go to chrismunchcomedy.com?
It almost started to get weird there.
Can you go to chrismunchcomedy.com for
chrismunchcomedy.com. You can get there, or if you want to, actually, go to chrismunchcomedy.com.
and you can click for the
Or you
cameo.
just text 918.
Yeah. All right. Yes. And if you're listening or watching this podcast, come see me live. Open up for comedian, hilarious Dustin Nickerson, who's been on James Corden and tours with Taylor Tomlinson and Nate Bargatze. He's going to be at the Bricktown Comedy Club here in Tulsa, August 26th. You can get tickets at bricktowntulsa.com. come and let's fill up the room. And he's a clean comic, and it's great. It's an early show too, so it's going to be
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great. 13 and plus. So if you
I
got
was
a
going to say
teenager,
you can bring your 4-year-olds.
well, I don't.
Between
I
nap
wouldn't do
time.
that.
Maybe 13.
When are tickets on sale?
Tickets are on sale now.
Already?
BricktownTulsa.com. Yeah.
Ooh, I
Sweet.
just scooped up all of them.
Oh,
better ask
Sold
fast.
out.
Oh, better go to StubHub. Yeah. So come to that show. It's a big deal. All right. We love you.
See ya.
Bye.